What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Video City TV. I am your host, Callie Ann at the Butterfly Buddha, and I'm here on a Zoom interview with Annie Jules. She is a musician and producer from Florida. Ooh.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's hear a little bit about your story, how you got started, and how long you've been doing this for.
Okay. Well, I've been playing for since I was 10. I've been playing for about 20 years now.
Playing piano.
So,
wow.
Yeah, playing piano. So my first instrument was piano. I thought I was going to like sing and all that stuff, but then the piano really got my attention. And so I really started wanting to play an instrument when I was 9. And then when my mom saw that I had a love for, the instrument of piano, because I used to bang, on the keys and the grand piano at church and on the organ. That's how it all starts. I'm always banging the keys. So it starts like that. And then, but she noticed that I was, playing some chords and some, basic triads. And then that's when that following year, for my birthday present as a gift, and it was a surprise. I had no clue. I just came from, at the time I was like in 3rd or 4th grade. So when I came from after school, that's when I saw this big, huge box. I'm like, are we moving? And I'm like, no, this is actually your first keyboard. This is your piano. Happy birthday. And I'm like, what? Yes. Yeah. And my birthday was in May, but she surprised me one day after coming from school, and I was like, I was excited. I was
So your birthday
stoked.
was in May. When did you get the piano?
I got it like 2 months later. As it was a surprise gift because around that month she did a party for me, because she always likes to do like parties. You know how moms and dads are.
Yeah.
They always want to But 2 months later she surprised me, and then I was like, oh man, I was shocked.
You fell in love with it. Did you get like piano lessons and everything?
I got piano lessons from that keyboard. Like everything started from that keyboard. My first little track and all that. I had that keyboard. It was like a Roland FP, 88 grand piano, but it was a keyboard. And she bought it with her own money, and I was like, okay. And I had that keyboard that keyboard lasted me for about almost 15 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So where does this like art come from within you? Does it run in the family? Are your parents musicians too?
Yes. I came from, I was born here in America, but my family's Haitian. So I'm Haitian American. So I speak Creole, French, and all of that stuff.
Ooh, that's
so,
beautiful. Do you put that in your music? Do we have some French music out, by the
way? You know what? I'm working on that. I'm working on this. I'm working on a compa track with a friend of mine. So I'll be doing more Creole songs as well later on. But yeah, that's in the making. But my family's from Haiti, and so the culture of Haitian music and Dominican and Caribbean music, it just blended perfectly in my family as well. And a lot of them also speak Spanish. So because they grew up in Haiti, so a lot of them were around Cubans and Dominicans that are, in that country. So, we had a whole melting pot in my family, but my cousin is a classical trained pianist, and he was the one that first taught me piano.
Wow. So
and I didn't
runs in the blood. I love it.
And it all runs in the blood. And then my uncle does more of Haitian roots music. So that's where I got that from them.
Wow.
And I didn't start playing. I didn't start actually reading music until I got into high school, but I really started piano by playing by ear. I started like the cat from Drumline, like you learning parts and memorizing. I started hearing music in my head, like, and in my ears, just naturally.
So since you started at a young age, is it easy for you to perform now? I've seen your videos on Instagram. It looks like you groove and perform with your piano, and I love it. So is that how you gained the confidence? You started at a young age, or did you just start performing recently?
I started at a young age, and it grew over time. It wasn't overnight, because before, like when I was young, I was super like shy and nervous. And I'm like, you know how it is.
When
young little kids start But it grew over time once people started knowing my name in high school. And then that's when I started playing at church and started getting church gigs here and there. And my friends, they knew me as a musician because I used to be in the marching band. So I was always in the band room practicing. I was always one of those girls that would practice. Playing some type of song. And this is bringing me back memories while I'm talking right now. But because a lot of my friends now, they're doing really good, but I keep in touch with some of them. A lot of them are, grown, got kids, got a family, but some of them do play. They still play out. They do music, or if they're not doing music, they're DJing or they have their own business. So a lot of the people that I grew up in the band, that's actually where I learned reading music when I was in the marching band or jazz band. And I was taught by my professor, Melton Mustafa, senior and junior, both of them. And they were the ones that really started getting me out there as a musician. They started that for me.
Wow.
Before I started gigging, performing professionally, they started opening me up to jazz and gospel all together.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So did it all start in church? Like all performances and everything? Wow. That's awesome. It
started in church, at first.
Wow. So how long has that been now? How many years would you say you've been performing for?
So I started playing piano since I was 10, but I didn't really started getting the confidence in performing professionally until about 10 years ago. And I was just getting out of college. So I was in my young 20s. So I've been playing professionally for 10 years. And ever since then, it's been a journey. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
But I got to give credit to a woman that opened she opened the door for me literally by believing in me as not only a female musician, but as a musician, because she saw all of my potential and all that I brought. And her name was Miss Valerie Tyson. So look her up. Shout out to her. She has music as well out, but she's a huge legend in South Florida. And she worked with some of the greats back in her day, but she's the one that taught me about the business and invested in me. And she's the one that started my music career. Wow. Valerie Tyson. That's her name.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing all these nostalgic feelings you're getting and like all the experiences you had.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what kind of advice would you give someone if they're starting their like music career, like, and they're scared? Like, what's something that you wish you could have told a younger version of yourself?
Well, I'll tell you this. I would say, don't ever be afraid of making mistakes. Don't ever be afraid of making mistakes. In your mistakes comes greater blessings. In your mistakes comes trials and tribulations, but with all of that comes a greater, there's always greater later, and there's always a greater breakthrough from your mistakes. And don't ever live life with regrets, because everything that has happened from when you were a child to now actually happened for a huge purpose, for a reason. And it was a huge setback, right? But it was a huge setback for a huge setup blessing that God has for you. And
I
so
like that. I like that what you said.
Yeah,
it's a huge setback for a new setup for you.
Yeah, for a huge setup, for a new setup that God has for you. Yeah. And that's what I've been learning in my life. Really, that was the story of my life. I had to make a lot of, curves and swerves in my life. But if you don't have those curves and swerves in your life, that doesn't make you any less. You know what I mean? It actually makes you even more valuable to somebody that's coming after you, so that they can learn, so that they can look up to somebody who is human, not somebody who's just a robot and say, do this, like I wasn't a person that always lived by the book. I gotta be honest with you. But I learned, of course, what to do and what not to do. And I had to learn my value as a musician and to not let nobody use me. Because I was a Black female musician or anybody that was young that didn't know the business. They use people that way because they don't know, because they feel that the younger generation may not know, or they're not as experienced. But it's really the young people that's going to change the world. you know, we need the older folks that come before us, but at the same time, we also need that young generation to like really lead us to the next level, to the next chapter. So, that's my advice to my young self. Like, don't ever be like, because back in the day, I would be afraid of challenges and new challenges, and be afraid of making mistakes and be afraid of being myself. But now in my life, I'm living in a beautiful time where I can be free as ever. Because I would say time and years that I've spent gave me the time and space for me to learn myself and get to know who I am as an artist and as a person.
This is so beautiful. Music is also such like a beautiful spiritual
and music and it and music had a lot to do with it too, but also the people that I was surrounding with in my life that taught me to step up my game, and mentors that believed in me, that loved me though, that actually cared about me, and that took time to pull me to the side and say, listen, you're doing awesome. Can keep going, keep at it. But this is what you should do. This is what you should not do. Yeah. People like that pushed me to be who I am now. Yeah. And so that's the advice that I would give. You know, don't ever be afraid to be human, because we're all humans. We're all here in this planet to help each other out, but also to learn from each other, you know?
Yeah, don't be afraid. That's a really, really big
one. And that's how you grow.
Yeah,
that's how you grow. You know, that's you can never get out of that.
Yeah, you grow through those uncomfortable moments all the time. Mm-hmm. So you have to face it. There's also like, I want to add on to what you said, but I've learned this in one of my like yoga teacher trainings, because I'm also a yoga teacher. So they say that whenever you resist something, right? Whenever you resist doing something or saying something, you automatically send stress signals to your brain, guys. Video City TV, like this is all gems right here. You have Annie Jules, where there's like science behind all of this as well. Like, do what your heart tells you, or else like, you don't want to regret anything. Just go for it and don't be afraid. Thank you for sharing that. So what is the biggest growth moment you've had as an artist so far?
Oh,
one of those moments where you're like, oh my God, like, I know you probably had a few of those.
I had a few. I have a few, but
I can feel it.
Yes, I have a few.
What was that one moment where you're like,
that stood out the most? Okay, I have to pick two. Am I allowed to pick two?
Yeah, absolutely. No rules.
Okay. Well, I've definitely had a few growing moments that taught me for sure, but the biggest breakthrough in my life was when I found my voice. And the biggest breakthrough, I have to say, like, everybody feels that that year was the worst year ever, but it happened to be my best year ever. Personally, 2020.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was going to be like, is it 2020?
2020. Yeah. 2020 was the year that I actually I went back to finishing up all of my originals, and because I stopped for so long. Yeah. And so finally, after coming from the cruise ship life, because I was working on the cruise ship for almost a year, that gave me the chance and the space to now, once I came back home safe, that's when I came back and did my work, and finally I have my own little studio at home. So that gave me the chance and the space to record my music and record whatever I needed to record, just to get that time in and not waste any time while just sitting home. We weren't doing anything really. No one was performing. No one was going out, but that gave me the perfect space ever in my life to like really do me and really like dig into me as an artist, dig into my music, how I want to express or convey my message to the world. And that was my most favorite time in my life. I have to say that. And then around that time I was working with, doing the Aaliyah tribute. Around the time when I was working on my originals, I was doing the Aaliyah tribute as well. So I was working on two things back to back. And I didn't even know that I was going to do an Aaliyah tribute that year. That I did not plan that. I really didn't. That was God. Okay. So if you asked me if I was going to do an Aaliyah tribute, I wanted to do one years before, but those times didn't pan out. So when the right time came, I really didn't know that was going to happen until, like, I don't know, one day God gave me some, I would say, an inspiration. And he told me to call this man by the name of Eric Seitz. And that's when I texted him. I didn't even know he was going to respond back because, these big time producers, they are up there, right? You would think, but something told me in my spirit, no, reach out to him. You never know. Trust me, reach out to him. And it was God talking to me that night. And it was late at night, around 11 something. I wouldn't want to text him around that time. So I did. And he texted me back in less than a minute. I didn't even know he was on there. And, and so he texted me back with a phone number and email. Give me a call. The next day we spoke, and then that's when we started planning everything.
Wow!
And
look at that.
And he was so nice, such a cool dude, very much of a gentleman. He accepted me as I am. He gave me the space to express what I wanted, how I wanted the tribute, and I even told him, if you have any like creative ideas, please let me know, because you worked with Aaliyah. You're the one that has been in her space and in her and that met her. And I even asked him, how was it like working with Aaliyah, and how was that experience? And he gave me a whole list of stories, which we won't have time to even share. But he told me that Aaliyah used to cook for them. Aaliyah used to cook for the whole team that worked on her album. She used to cook for Timbaland, Missy, and even his business partners. It was a lot. But Aaliyah was like a homegirl, very down to earth. Wow. You wouldn't even think she was a diva or a celebrity, but she was that cool. So that was an experience that even gave me more of the push to be to find my voice. And that's when I went to finish recording my album around that time. So a lot of those songs came from that time in 2020 when we were in the pandemic. And
this whole album is now out, even this Aaliyah tribute, if you guys are watching. So make sure you look up Annie Jules right now.
Yes. And then so those times were important to me. So between 2020 and 2021, those were crucial times that prepared me to be an artist now. Even Aaliyah's spirit, especially Aaliyah's spirit. I never met her. I never did. But based on Eric's story... Me too. A lot of people did. Yeah. A lot of people did. There's a lot of fans of Beyonce. There's a lot of huge fans of Aaliyah, because before Beyonce came out, Aaliyah did her thing, but she inspired Beyonce to be who she is now. And so I definitely appreciate Beyonce's music, but my heart is Aaliyah. And so when I definitely got into her music and Aaliyah's music again and everything, that's when she, her spirit was leading me to how to do the tribute, because I was only going to do a simple 5 to 10 minute live arrangement. That was how usually what I was going to do. You know how musicians, we would do covers and do live arrangements and all that. And I was surprised that there weren't a lot of live arrangements on other artists. On Aaliyah, but there were artists like Beyonce and Bruno Mars, Brandy, whoever they would do covers on, but there wasn't no covers on Aaliyah. So me and Eric Seitz, we decided to pick on that challenge, and we did. And that's when my voice actually started, and I sung through the tribute. There were some parts when we did instrumentals. We played Rock the Boat, and Eric Seitz, he's the one that produced Rock the Boat. He's the one that created it along with his business partner, Rap Tracks.
Such an amazing story.
Yeah. Yes.
I love it.
And so Aaliyah was the one that inspired me to find my voice, and other artists too. And then I did work with an all-female band the following year for a second part 2 Aaliyah tribute. And I had my girl Adonis Jones on there, who's a fantastic drummer. Please go check her out. Adonis the drummer. She's an incredible artist, musician, producer. She does all her stuff. She's like a spinning image of Sheila E. and all that, but she's incredible. And then I had Jaya, who's also a singer. She sounds like Aaliyah a little bit, but she has her own voice, but she's incredible. But I did a whole team of an all-female band for the second part of the Aaliyah tribute, and that was in 2021. We released it, and pretty much we killed it. That whole tribute, we smashed it. There was like a lot of people that tuned in. It was on YouTube live streamed on YouTube, and I had such an amazing time. That whole time was, oh my God, that was the bomb. I want to do it again.
Oh,
but
I love
but
it.
it was incredible. But all of those times, I'm just saying, all of those periodic times led me to the album that I'm releasing now. All of those years of working. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, when is this album coming out, and what is it going to be called?
Well, the main part of the album already came out September the 22nd, but the extended part of the album, the deluxe version, will be released in November. I pushed it back in November because I'm working on a deal with a distributor who, they market even more better than DistroKid. But DistroKid is great. It's just this one here, the deluxe version, is going to be more special. Yeah, way more special. And it's going to include the album that I had just released. It's going to include all the songs and more. So yes,
I love that.
Yeah. And so it's incredible. Those were the times that was my breakthrough moment, because even those times we was going through, we were not doing anything at all during the pandemic. It was crazy times. We didn't know what was going to happen next, how long it was going to be. You know what I mean? We were tired of staying home, but I kept my mind busy. Like, God was challenging me. No, keep your mind busy. Trust me. Things will get better later. It's just right now we're going through a little process right now, but it's going to get better later. And look where we are now. You know what I mean?
Know, here we are.
And the year's almost over, you know? So, and I'm working on doing some more performances for my album, more promotion. So we'll see how things pan out, you know?
That's beautiful. Oh my God. I was going to ask you, like, what your next goal is when it comes to music, but you already have an album out. You're already working on other things and building and growing your network. Girl. Yeah. Annie Jules, y'all.
Yeah. And I did it. I did it self-made. I mean, all of that was funded by me. All of the tributes
Sometimes
that I did for Aaliyah.
Invest in yourself,
You have to invest. You cannot, because I've run in this business that so many people, on top of that, so many people are doing the same things that you want to do, right? But in different ways, right? But at the same time, no, not everybody's going to come to you to give you this or give you that, or, no. A lot of times, especially nowadays, you got to start doing it for yourself and not wait for people. So I got all of whatever investment I had that, I don't know, God had blessed me at the time. And I released those music. I released those projects, my tributes, the tributes to the artists. And they were all self-funded from me. But I wanted to do it because I love what I do. You know what I mean? I want to spend the days of my life doing what I love and not what I'm supposed to do or what the system wants you to do. No, I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? I'm free-minded. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I like to move within the beat of my own drum. And that's what I feel that everybody is doing in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Without any apologies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
it's important for us to do that, especially as women.
Yes,
this is our time. Women evolve. This is our time. That's why I called my album "The Evolution of Annie Jules," because this is my time, just like this is everybody else's time. You know, especially a woman. Oh
my God.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
you are like glowing right now, you guys. Whoever is watching this is what it looks like when you follow your dreams and do what your heart is telling you. Like Annie Jules, y'all. Oh my God. Thank you for sharing all of those gems, sharing your experiences and what you've been through, being open and vulnerable with us, through your music, through being yourself. Girl, you are shining right now. I'm so happy to have interviewed you and have you be a part of the show. This is amazing. I can't wait to do our in-person interview. We're still going to do that.
Oh yeah, no, we are.
Yes,
I'm supposed to I'm supposed to play in New York in the very beginning of December with an artist.
Call me.
Yes,
call me. We will link up.
It's gonna happen.
Yes,
it's gonna happen. Yeah, but I love your vibe too. Thank you for even giving me the space to express myself, because I've been in that mood and then in that beat of my own drum for a while. So it's a beautiful thing, man. Once you find your own voice, nobody can stop you but you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
I love this. This was kind of just like a motivational speech, like a light speech, sharing all of the gems. Let's get into it. We're going to share this new video that you have. Well, not a new video, but one of your videos. It's called Dream featuring Evan First. Yes. Check it out, guys.
All right. Yeah. Descriptions of my religion are necessary. I've been dreaming of being something deeper than legendary. I've been thinking much like a king. You might want to listen carefully. See them out there marching in Parkland with Martin in their hearts. Some say my dreams are a death, which I need a second thought. But I ain't thinking second, cause I'm second to none. But I feel like I'm aging more than I am growing up. And it tell me what's the problem. Am I dreaming hard enough?
Found the words of wisdom that spoke to me, and it told me I can do all things through Christ and who strengthens me. This goes to show you that it's true. If you keep striving, keep believing, you will succeed. You can just dream the impossible dream, 'cause you can do anything through Christ if you just believe. You can just dream the impossible dream. Just dream your dream. There's no limit to what you can reach. Just hold on to the impossible dream. The impossible dream. Anything through Christ if you just believe. You gotta dream your dream. The impossible dream. 'Cause there's no limit to what you can reach. Just hold on to the impossible dream. You were destined to move mountains and shine a light to somebody who needs it. There's a reason that you are here today. You must realize that you were meant to live for so much more. Keep the faith that lives within you. There is no way you won't make it.
Pour one for the gods, from day one for the love. I've been chasing stars. Yeah, I've been chasing stars. Pour one for the gods, from day one for the love. I've been chasing stars. Yeah, I've been chasing stars. I'm on a mission of ambition, I'm testing my limits. Ain't no slipping, this aspiration is clear as apparitions. Ain't no time for missing the shots that I never took. Ain't no time for your guidelines, can't do this by the book. I've been trying so hard not to be defined by hook, but to profit and hope that you can see it when you look. That I ain't never giving up and you ain't ever catching up. I'm reaching for what Martin wanted, you can never take this moment.